Hey, this is Cold Turkey. We're still throwing down with Fallout New Vegas. You remember correctly last time we talked? 188 Trading Post was where we left off. Why did we leave off there? Well, we're going a little bit to the north and a little bit to the east of 188 Trading Post to Boulder City. What's going on in Boulder City? Well, we have this main quest line called They Went That Away. And this is where we're going to finally be able to get this part of the main quest done. When we arrive at Boulder City, just walk down this road and kind of take a loop, and you'll find this lieutenant guy, and he'll tell you that there's a hostage situation going on where the Great Gons are causing some trouble. Now, you can resolve this quest multiple ways, but I'm going to recommend that you try to resolve it diplomatically if possible. You don't want to get on the bad side of the Great Khans, and the reason is they're involved in multiple quest lines, so if you become extremely hostile to them, that'll limit your options later in the game. And more importantly, the Great Khans have a hidden sort of weapons trading post underneath a building that's not marked on the map, and it is really worth getting on the good side of the Great Khans just so you can go and trade weapons with them later on in the game. So resolve it diplomatically like I just did. The two hostages will be released, but once you walk out of this door, you'll find other trouble abounds. You're going to talk to this lieutenant guy again, and he basically says, well, we should kill the Great Khans anyway. You say, no way, be a man of integrity, and that's going to net you a huge amount of positive quote-unquote karma or fame with the Great Khans. They're going to love you after that, and it'll actually get you some good stuff with the NCR. So you can see where we are on the map, how we're kind of sort of east of the trading post. I thought it was northeast, but I guess it's technically southeast a little bit. From here, we're going to head further northwest and then maybe a little bit north towards the end. Our ultimate goal is to go to the Boomers. Now, I'm not going to show me walking all across the Mojave because that would probably be the whole 15 minutes of the video, and that would be extremely boring. But hey, at least you get to see this, me walking a little bit here and there. Remember, we're going to be going to the Boomers. You might ask yourself, Cold Turkey, why are you going to the Boomers? Well, I think the Boomers are very important because up to this point we've been making a lot of money. We've been killing people, looting their corpses. We've been stealing everything. We've been gambling, playing card games, and that's got us a lot of money. But when we get to the Boomers, we're going to get even more money. We're going to be raking in the dough when we get to the Boomers. Another thing we're going to start doing is we're going to start collecting snow globes. I don't collect snow globes until later on in the game because there's no point in collecting them until you have access to Mr. House, because you can't make any money off of them until you turn them into Mr. House. So we're going to have a huge influx of cash within this very commentary. We say, well, why do you need that much money? What's going to happen? Basically, we're going to go to the gun runners and we're going to buy the best of the best armor and maybe even a few weapons if we have some left over. And you see on the map where we are right there, Field Shack, and the Boomers are kind of northeast of that. So to get to the Boomers, it'll be a little tricky, and you can see me showing you kind of that you came from Novac, you went up through 188, then you followed those two locations, you came up, and we're going to talk to the Boomers. Like I said, we're going to get a ton of money, and we're doing that so we can have really good armor and really good weapons. So when we go back down south and take care of all the quests, we just skipped probably over a dozen quests, maybe even close to 2 dozen, when we came from Novac all the way up to the Boomers. We just bypassed a ton of stuff. Talk to this guy who's sort of quote-unquote in front of the Boomer camp. Make a bet that you can survive. You can make 600 caps off this guy if you play your cards right. Basically, the Boomers shell anybody who comes near their outpost with massive amounts of explosives. Go to the first building that you see when you come through that road and just hug this corner inside the wall. You will not get hit with any explosives if you do this correctly. You won't get hit with anything at all. You won't get a direct hit. You won't get an indirect hit. No AoE will touch you. But you got to make sure you get in the right spot. As soon as the last bomb drops, get out of that corner and run as fast as you can. Make sure you've equipped light armor. You don't want to be having heavy armor in this situation because it'll slow you down and they could bomb you if you take too long to get to the fence line. You've got to get to that fence line. When you're at the fence line, what's so important? Well, basically, they're not going to bomb themselves. So go over this fence. Well, don't go over it, but sort of parallel it, and then you get up to the gate, and they get a little pissed off at you because they didn't kill you, and you're the first person, and oh boy, oh, you're so special. But like a lot of things that happen in this game, for some bizarre reason, they're willing to trust you and bring you in, take me to your leader. And you talk, and her name is Pearl. She's this old lady, former Vault resident, whatever. And she basically wants you to help the Boomers as an outsider because she's concerned about what's going on within her society, what's happening with them being sort of cut off from everybody on the outside. So you're in the Air Force Base. Now you're going to want to go sort of northeast north of Pearl's Place, and we're going to be going into these big, huge shacks. These big, huge, I don't know, what are they? Air Force things? Oh, but first we're going to grab Boone and get our caps. Okay. Never mind. We're not going to quite go in there yet. Haha, I thought we were, but I tricked myself. That's how tricky I am. One person asked, hey, Cold Turkey, I didn't get Boone. What companion should I get? Well, you know, if you didn't get Boone, you can get Veronica at the Trading Post 188. She's one of my favorite companions, and we'll definitely talk about companions later on in the game. But for now, remember what I said. We're going to go to these big, huge metal shacks. Make sure to go to the top one, or the... Well, would it be the... Or would that be the south one? Well, anyway, one of them's going to have... Well, one of them's going to look like this. So just go to the one that looks like this. Because the other one has a big, huge plane in the middle of it. Well, actually, I think it has planes and boxes and everything. This one doesn't. Go to the side. Get in this corner right here and sneak. Make sure you're right in the corner. Turn around and start stealing all these missile launchers, grenade launchers, plasma grenades, and everything. If you get in the corner perfectly, you will not get spotted. A lot of these missile launchers are at absolute full repair or close to full repair, which means they are literally worth thousands upon thousands of caps. Put your Z button on and sort of flip these plasma grenades on the floor. Start stealing all them. Steal all the ammo. Steal all the missiles. If you play your cards right, you are literally going to be walking out of this with tens of thousands of caps. It's so much money because there's so much gear. And that's not all. You can also go to the other big, huge outbuilding. You think, man, that's a lot of money with all those missile launchers, grenade launchers, and ammo. Oh no, it gets worse. So this one has sort of the big fallen plane in it. Then what you want to do is you want to go to one side, and you'll see all these cases with combat armor. Combat armor is worth a lot of money. It's pretty good armor, but it's not the best armor. So go through these boxes. You'll get over encumbered probably in the process. That's okay. We're sneaking around. There's several in here. There's more towards where we were there. And bam, you've got tons of money. Now we're going to head more towards Vegas. We're going to explore Crimson Caravan area briefly. We're not going to actually go in and take care of anything yet. And we're going to want to eventually head to the Gunrunners so we can sell all this stuff, make the money, buy all the gear that we need. And in the process, we're probably going to go into Vegas. You can go through that gate right there. I'm not going to go through it right now, but you go into that gate, you go through Freeside, you go into Vegas, and then when you're in Vegas, go to the Lucky 38, talk to Mr. House, and turn in any snow globes that you have. I haven't actually gotten any snow globes yet, but later on in this commentary, we're going to grab some snow globes, and we're going to turn them in for the Buco bucks, baby. I think it's 2,000 caps per snow globe. If I'm not mistaken, I might be. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So, we are going to try to get to the Gunrunners. Where are these guys? Well, they're somewhere around here. Actually, I don't think I'm going towards the Gunrunners. I think I am literally randomly walking around in bizarre directions that make no sense. Why would I be doing that? I don't know. I am insane. Maybe I got lost. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Sometimes you can get a little confused in the back roads, but the Gunrunners are actually pretty easy to find. They're really basically right outside of the wall, just a little bit south of Freeside. So I don't know where I was going. I must have been stoned or something. I was like, I could go wherever I want, herp derp. Alright, we're at the Gunrunners. Open up your inventory, get out all your grenade launcher, missile launcher, armor, you name it, man. I mean, you should be able to have, like I said, tons of stuff. Boone, put some clothes on. Disgusting. Gonna do a little bit of repair work here. Remember I said that you can do repairs to make things worth more money, take up less room in your inventory. There's all kinds of stuff. And give Boone that good stuff. And then we're going to talk to this guy. He had actually this building built around him just for the sake of doing all this stuff. Now, going to skip through me buying and selling everything here because that would take a while. So I've sold a bunch of stuff. I've bought some stuff. And then we're going to finalize the deal. You got ammo, armor, weapons. There's just so many things you can get from this guy. And bam, there's me with my new awesome armor. Yeah! Now, this is going to make Quest a million times more easy when we go back down south, more towards Novac, and then proceed further north from there, doing all the quests that we had missed. It's going to be a billion times easier. Why? Because we have such good armor and such good weapons. And how did we get all that good armor and good weapons? Remember, we killed a bunch of people, looted their corpses, stole everything in sight, and here's me stealing some more stuff from the boomers. There are actually a few other outage buildings you can get some stuff from. Missiles, combat armor, you name it. Belt better give some things to Boone here. Getting weighed down. You find that happens a lot, but once you get a companion, it does help a lot. Especially, and once again remember I am in hardcore, very hard, so I'm not wussing out, not playing it easy. Oh yeah, look at all those snow globes. Money in the bank. So we grabbed a snow globe, and this is the museum, so we're going to talk to this kid. Part of the quest Valer, or Valer, however you want to pronounce it. But it's part of the quest. You sit down, you listen to him talk. He'll go blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to show all of the footage of him talking because that would take far too long. And then once he's done talking, go up to him and be like, oh, that's so interesting. And make sure to explore every dialogue option that you can in order to once again increase your reputation. Hopefully get a map marker here and there, maybe pass some skill checks for some experience. It's a win-win. So all that being said and done, now we're going to go back towards Novac to take care of that quest where there were ghouls in this building in the Repcon facility on the outskirts of Novac, and they wanted you to take care of it. Well, you don't actually have to do this quest, but you could say that about almost all the quests in this game, but we're still going to do it anyway. Upon entering the building, you'll get talked to by somebody through an intercom telling you to not waste time, hurry up and get to them. He tries to give you to make sure to grab that stealth boy, by the way, and to loot any and all corpses in here because there's some really juicy items if you pay attention. But he tells you to sort of go up to this one side of the building. The building, in my opinion, is confusing. The first time I played this game, I got totally lost in this building. Now I know where everything is just because this is my third playthrough of the game, so I just know where everything is. There's some lockpicks you can do, some safes you can crack, some fatty loots, like I said, if you remember where you're going. But ultimately, our goal is to go and talk to that guy who was on the intercom, because as it turns out, there's like a whole society of ghouls in here, and we need to help them. If you don't help them, it will directly affect the ending of the game in relation to Novac. Personally, I like to help them out because it's a lot of experience, it's a lot of loot, and really, isn't that kind of the point of the game? I mean, these quests are in the game for a reason, so you can play the game, play the quest, and have fun. I don't know. That's kind of my outlook on it. That's one of the great things about Fallout New Vegas, or just Fallout games in general. They're pretty awesome, and there's lots of side quests you can do. I was actually just playing Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 just this last week. Old school Fallout games for the win. Oh yeah. And I got up to the point where I was fighting the Master in Fallout 1, but I didn't beat him. So I got close to beating Fallout 1, and then I got to the point where I was about to hit the oil rig in Fallout 2. So I kind of got close to beating Fallout 2, but I never actually beat either of them. I sort of wussed out and never went through it all the way. But, even the original Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, Fallout 3, and this is Fallout New Vegas, of course, they all are games that have that sort of, there's stuff you can do, there's the main quest line, but then there's a lot of side quests on top of it. So you'll notice this area is mostly filled with feral ghouls. If you got Boone with you, it won't be too big of a problem. You can use VATS if you want, iron-sighted if you want. I hate it when enemies get too close to you in VATS and then you actually don't hit them. Really, really dislike that. You think you'd be smart enough to back up like 3 inches. I guess not in Fallout, no sir. So we're getting close to the point where we want to be. You'll know you're in the right area of this building when you get to sort of this factory-looking big empty floor with a stair room heading up and some weird corpses on the ground and sort of puddles of ash from laser rifles. Go upstairs, and we are finally going to meet the people who we talked to. Well, maybe not necessarily the people, but we're going to meet the guy we talked to on the intercom and the people he represents. Go talk to this intercom right here. Blah, blah, blah. Yak, yak, yak. Schmackety schmack. Go through the door. Hello, and behold. It's a human. Wait a second. How come he sounds like a ghoul? You could say, hey, you're not a ghoul. Don't pursue that dialogue option yet. And then you go up here, you realize that this guy's a human, but he hangs out with all these ghouls, and we're going to want to talk to Jason Bright, who is a very distinct looking ghoul. You'll know he's the leader because he glows green, but that's about all we have time for. This is Cold Turkey. Thanks for watching.